Hello everybody, this is Mr. Prometheus, and I'm bringing you a build of the Guardian class that I played during the Beta Weekend 3 event of Guild Wars 2. It's a two-handed build using both offensive two-handed weapons, the hammer and the greatsword. The build itself is 30, 10, 10, 20, Zeal being the most important as power is your best stat in a build like this. In Zeal, you take Fiery Wrath, Greatsword Power, and Zealous Blade. Greatsword Power and Zealous Blade are fairly obvious. Fiery Wrath is probably the most important, however, as that extra 10% damage is really, really good. In Radiance, which adds Critical Strike in the form of Precision, you take Signet Mastery because you use 2 Signets in this build, both of which are very important to keep up. Valor is adding Toughness, which isn't that important, but it does provide Meditation Mastery, so one of your utilities is a very important meditation, which we'll get into. And in Honor, which adds Vitality, which brings you above 20,000 health, you take rid of Exaltation and Two-Handed Mastery, which is extremely important for utilizing both two-handed weapons. In this build, the two-handed sword, the greatsword, is for damage, and the mace is for control. The heal you pick is the first Signet, Signet of Resolve, which heals you and removes a condition passively. Judge's Intervention is the meditation on a 45-second cooldown, which teleports and burns, which you'll see how good that is in a minute. Bane Signet is the second Signet you take, which gives you improved power and knocks your foe down. And the third utility is Purging Flames, which creates a ring of fire. It burns enemies and removes conditions. The elite is Tome of Courage, and I pretty much take that all the time as the full heal from it is one of the best things that you can access in the game. For the armor, I take the Knight's Amulet, a Berserker's Jewel, and Superior Rune of Flame Legion. The 5% damage against burning foes from Superior Rune of Flame Legion means that you're doing 15% against burning targets, which is quite incredible. And you do end up with about 38% crit, so not taking those precision talents earlier is actually not that big of a deal. It's actually more like 39% crit. And here's how you can see how everything works. This is Purging Flame being used offensively. It's a fire combo field, so you can see I can leap out of it and give myself a fire shield and continue to fight. But it's also able to be used defensively. Here I have some bleeds, and I cast Purging Flames to wipe the bleeds off before I die. This will walk us into the second utility that I use, which is Judge's Intervention, where I use right there to close the gap on this guy who's trying to run away. But that was a little quick, so let's back it up a little bit and we can take a better look at Judge's Intervention and how it works. It's a very short cast time, and you can see right here I begin it, and it teleports you to the target and starts a burn on them. The burn is a very hard burn. It does a lot of damage, but it also, remember, gives that person, they take a 15% extra damage from you. Judge's Intervention also teleports you up ledges, apparently, and this is something I discovered during the beta weekend. I bring these two char down quite a lot with that burn. I use the number 5 ability on the mace here against this guy to prevent him from running away, which is one of the best things about the mace. The number 5 ability, although it doesn't say it in the tooltip, is also a light combo field. Now, I got this guy down, but he stood back up because someone in the vicinity was executed on our team, and I got a little overzealous. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to snag the kill there, even though I pretty much did kill him. I couldn't finish the execute in time. Judge's Intervention, however, is so good. I have this guy targeted in the clock tower, and you can see that I can teleport into the clock tower to get to him. And he's totally taken by surprise against me here. I tried to put the ring around him using the mace. It didn't work. So I put Purging Flame on the point instead, and he has to get off of the point or else risk burning damage. And I'm able to neutralize the point with that. Then it's just a matter of bringing him down. I'm just superior in damage in terms of melee capability, and he doesn't really have an opportunity to go ranged here, so I'm able to bring him down without much of an issue and take that point for the team. So those are the utilities that are available. Let's talk about the mace and what it does. You've seen it in action a little bit, but here in a group setting, I peek my head over here, start to get hurt a little bit, so back up. And this Guardian on my team, he happens to be using the Spirit Weapons build, which is overpowered and not really that good because they're nerfing it anyway and it doesn't take any skill. So I don't have any interest in playing a spec like that. But I can see that this guy moves away from the fight here, so he put the ring down to prevent him from getting back in, and he bumps himself into it. I then switch to the Greatsword for more damage, which you can see it does quite a good amount, and then do the pull from the greatsword to keep him near me, activate my virtue for burning damage, and bring this guy down. So that's the kind of gameplay that you can expect out of a build like this, is positioning someone with the mace and then doing damage with the greatsword. Here I immobilize this guy with the mace and put the ring around him. Now you can jump over the ring, you just can't walk into it, and you can see he bumped himself against it there, but he did end up, backing up over it. He steps into my Purging Flame, which is a little silly. I used it there without him in it because he was bleeding me. This is an engineer that had the bleed build. And now I'm immobilized, or I'm crippled. So I decide to immobilize him again, and in order to prevent him from doing anything, I knock him back with the mace, which also does quite a lot of damage. And he tries to get away, but he actually dies from condition damage, which is a pretty solid thing that happens quite a lot because the condition damage is quite high. Here, against like a melee character, I'm able to use Judge's Intervention to get the jump, and you can see how much damage has already happened to him simply because he's burning and I'm doing extra damage. So I've got all of the momentum here. I use the pull to knock him down, which is just more of an interrupt, and then I put the mace ward down to knock him down so I can get an opportunity to launch him back, dealing more damage. I immobilize him with the mace. He ends up knocking me back, which is fine. And essentially, I mean, this entire duel, I had the entirety of the momentum because I was able to get the jump with Judge's Intervention and front load a bunch of damage. Now you can see I saw that guy and teleported down to chase him because I saw him running away from the point. I do use the pull again to try to get him near me so I can use that whirling ability. And this is a mistake. I shouldn't have used the immobilize because he's able to get right out of it. I should have used Bane Signet right here to knock him down, but I was still fairly new at playing it, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing yet. Instead, I decided to use the ring to prevent him from getting out, and it's pretty effective. It's just as effective, as a matter of fact. And I'm able to stop him from getting away and get the killing blow. Now, this other person that comes up in a moment here makes kind of a funny decision to try to revive that guy. So I say, okay, I'm at half health. My heal is coming right back up, but let me hide for a moment here. I launch him away to prevent the resurrection, even though it's probably going to take forever, and this warrior decides to join the party. So Purging Flame again to try to wipe all the conditions. Now you have to stay in Purging Flame, and it slowly removes all the conditions, so I dodge rolled out of it a little quick there. But this warrior is really hurting me quite a bit, and my heal is down, so I use Bane Signet to knock him down, and then I pull out my hammer and decide to put some distance between us. So I put the hammer ward down and then let him bump himself into it a couple of times while he's burning, so that I can keep pressure while trying to control him. And then I launch him back a little bit, which also prevents him from taking me down, and I'm able to bring him down. The rest of this is just he stands back up using that warrior ability, and he's not able to bring me down. So just a quick explanation of what the build was. It's a pretty good time. I really am absolutely in love with the hammer for Guardian. I think it's one of the best weapons that they have access to, and it's extremely underused right now. And I kind of hope it stays that way. But if you liked the video, or if you have any questions, just drop me a line. Otherwise, we'll see you in game pretty soon. Thanks.